Okay, yeah, so the first ecosystem that we are featuring or we'll be hearing from is Switzerland. So, so I'm promoting, so the we will be hearing from Nicolas from Digital Switzerland. So again, welcome everyone. This is the final session on our second ecosystem summit. It's nice to have everyone still here. So hello, Nicolas.
Hi, Catherine. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Yes, we have some minutes to pitch Switzerland. Very nice. Can you please add Matthias Zwingli, please? He will take over half of the presentation. Let me show some slides, please, and we can start. I hope you see everything.
Yes, but it's not full screen yet.
Now it is. Let's start. Switzerland, tiny country, indeed. But yeah, we have some assets in innovation, in digital and in biotech innovation. We're doing quite well. And yeah, we would like to show you, case, what we're doing, where are we, and what's going on in our country. So there are many rankings all around the world, from INSEAD, from VEF, from IMD, and now the US. And very often we are well positioned in the area of global innovation or entrepreneurship. As you can see here, some examples, we are well positioned. Why is Switzerland innovative? You know, we always say in Switzerland we have only three things and not more. We have mountains, we have a good and modern infrastructure, public transportation, trains, cars, roads, etc. And we have our brains, and we don't have more than that. We have no commodities. So it's really important, and we will see later on, we have to work with what we have, as said before. We have a quite open and liberal economies. In any case, we are very good in exporting our products and services. We have the biggest, the largest density of multi-companies worldwide compared to the capita, to the number of inhabitants. And we have the largest amount of scientific publications, again, compared to the capita. So we really try. We are always small. We are 9 million inhabitants, but we really try to be extremely innovative, going in the new direction to move ahead. This is what we can do in order to create jobs, a lot of jobs in our country, of course. What is interesting in Switzerland compared to other countries, we are not top-down. We are extremely bottom-up organized. Every region, every city has the feeling he's better at innovating than anyone else. And it's a fantastic ecosystem because we are pushing each other to be better within one ecosystem, which is ours. So you will see an extremely decentralized way of pushing innovation. Every region, city, even in the mountains, they are really pushing new topics, e-tourism, digital for humanity, many different topics, robotics, of course, drones, clean tech, digital for sustainability, and everyone is pushing it around. And to be honest, it's complicated, but it's fascinating because it works and it helps to make us every day much better. I think it's my last slide, and then I will give over to you, Matthias, for the second part of our pitch deck. As said, one of our assets is talents. In order to have talents, you need to educate them. It's quite simple. It means we need to massively invest in our universities. It's the only way for such a country like Switzerland to be prosperous in a decade, 2 or 3 decades. It's to invest in research and in education. Everything else, if you ask me, comes after. But if you invest in our brains, in our people, and by the way, we have one of the highest density in foreign people in Europe for sure, maybe even worldwide, so highly welcome. And investing in the people, as said before, in brains, is the R and O of our economy. And as you can see, we are quite good also in the worldwide ranking, 2 in the top 15, second best country behind the US. and we have 6 polytechnics and universities in the top 150 universities worldwide. Again, we are tiny, so it's a very good research. And here we will continue and continue and continue to invest. And I hope in the next years, even more in our universities and polytechnics. Matthias, please, you can take over.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Nicolas. So of course, universities and research centers is one of the reasons why I think there's a lot of really talented people. And as Nicolas already mentioned, we do have a lot of international persons coming here and researching here. And I think that is one of the key reasons to become such a melting pot for international and national talents. And you see that not just in rankings, but as well if big tech companies opening up offices. Google has the second largest office or the largest office outside of the US, and more technology companies coming to Switzerland for that. I think it's not just the universities and the great research and development facilities. It's of course as well the dual system in Switzerland. So it's not just you go to universities, but a lot of people choose to work and then in addition to working and education at the same time. So I think that is quite unusual if you compare it internationally, but definitely a source for great talent. Next slide. So here it's quite interesting. So the newest numbers they just released today, and we had a fast growth, I would say, in venture capital over the last couple of years. It almost doubled last year. And now with COVID, it proved quite resilient. We had a slight drop in 7%. But what I think is interesting about Switzerland in the ecosystem and about its resilience, what we've realized, there's a lot of, as mentioned before, a lot of deep tech focus, a lot of really tech focused. And this sector didn't really get affected that much by the latest impact from COVID. So life science and biotech, these sectors are really super clusters worldwide. And there was a little impact. The only thing we realized in Switzerland itself is that the bigger rounds in ICT, they were less. But most surprising, I would say, we had almost a 50% increase in Series A rounds. So I think what you see is it's a constant growth in numbers, not just in financing rounds, but as well in the whole VC capital. So I think, as mentioned, we're smaller, definitely, to the rest of the world. But you see a strong incline, especially in everything that is around there. Next slide. And to underline that maybe a bit, I think we call it Switzerland's becoming a more scale-up nation or scale-up country. And an interesting factor is, so they're coming bigger rounds ahead, and we have around 43 startups in soon to become unicorns, in Sunicorns, as called by today. That means there are around 43 startups that raised over 50 million in the last 8 years and on the step or on the brick to become a unicorn. So I think there's a maturity in the ecosystem, and you see that in bigger rounds, and you see that in upcoming rounds that are increasing. And maybe 2 things to point out that I think is interesting. One is Climeworks. It did the biggest global round ever of a startup that reduces CO2 from the air. So you see a massive increase, or a big focus of Switzerland is sustainability and clean tech. And you slowly see that drifting or growing as well. So I think that is a quite interesting factor we got out of the whole ecosystem. And in fact, it's the largest or the fastest growing sector on the startup side at the moment. We almost had a 67% increase to last year in investment capital in clean tech. So a great improvement, I would say. And next slide. And last but not least, that's just an insight of what we try to push or achieve. So since 2 years, we are more actively with Swiss tech in an international perspective to showcase and bring Swiss innovation abroad to the leading tech conferences. That was last year, where it still was physical. This year was a bit more virtual. But the idea or the goal for the ecosystem is to bring all these players together and just have one brand abroad to really showcase, to make it as easy as possible that you don't have to remember 5 names, but 1 name. And this year we'll be at 8 conferences in the world, hopefully in the Dubai World Expo. And it would be delightful to meet you all there and share the experience, maybe in person soon. And I think last slide. That's it from our side. Thank you so much. If you have any questions or insights, please reach out to us. We're happy to help and happy to discuss it further.
Thank you, Nicolas and Matthias. Thank you for presenting. Please leave your details, your email, or your website on the chat so everyone can reach out to you after the session. Thank you.
We will do. Perfect.
You have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.